specialist. Which I mean, why? What's he doing being 6'10"?
No, I'm
Literally
not- no business.
no business being
Waste
that
of
tall.
height.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another week of DGen Hours. We are in the heart of the NBA playoffs right now.
Oh yeah.
Just wrapped up the second round, and it had a pretty electric ending.
Bye, Joker.
A few game sevens to talk about that we may have sniped some odds on. And now we're in conference championship week. So games are started. We've already had one game so far, Celtics and the Pacers. We're going to recap what happened there and talk about the updated series odds, Western Conference, Eastern Conference, and your best bets currently to win the NBA Finals. So whole lot to cover on NBA action. Stick with us. We're getting right into the action.
Woo.
Action.
As I said, round two wrapped up in spectacular fashion last week.
Oh yeah.
If you remember from last week's NBA episode, we gave out a couple picks to win their respective series.
Pretty sharp.
And we were pretty sharp. We were talking early in the series after the T-Wolves went up 2-0. We're like, hey, you got the Nuggets hanging here over plus 400. Maybe give a little sprinkle on that.
Yeah.
Nuggets came back, were minus 500. T-Wolves then were like plus 380 to win the series. And we're like, hey, you know what?
You have a free roll now.
Bet that
you're
now.
welcome. You're
Bet
free
the
roll.
other
That's
side.
literally so insane.
The Timberwolves came back and won the series.
You heard it here first, seriously.
You literally
No,
heard it
still
here
alive.
first. You heard it here first. Ryan's ticket's still live.
I'm still alive, baby.
What is it?
Plus 2,200 to win the
2,200
championship.
to win the
2,200.
finals.
That's so good.
insane.
Give it to me.
Last week they were plus 1,700, and
Yeah,
we
my
said
God.
bet this as well. We were like, hey, if they're gonna win the series, might as well sprinkle here. Another team who were underdogs, and we said to bet the series to win, the Dallas Mavericks. We told you to bet them at plus
Wow.
1,500
Shout out Thunder
to win the
Choke.
NBA championship.
Yep.
If you would have tailed us, faded the two current favorites at the time in the West, you would have your Western Conference Finals matchup, Wolves Mavs, plus 1,700, plus 1,500 to win the championship.
Free roll.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, way better than their current odds. We're literally handing out gems here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Anthony Edwards didn't play a great game in that game 7,
Well,
but
Everyone else.
the
stepped
rest
up
of
as
their
a
team, I mean,
yeah.
Cat had probably the best game I've ever seen him play.
Statistically, maybe didn't play a great game.
Second half defense, though,
Yeah.
was
Like
huge. And in the
actually,
fourth quarter. Yeah.
actually shut out Jamal Murray in the third
No,
quarter.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was
Their team just when they play like that as a core, it's one of the hardest teams.
Those three big guys, Nas Reed, Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns.
It's tough.
I don't know if I've seen a better defensive three for, the back or the front court of a
Well-
team in like a long time.
Remember when we watched the third game of the series? Or it was the fifth game. It was game 5, and the Joker was cooking Gobert, and everyone was like, "Oh, Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, yeah,
4-time.
4-time defense." Everyone's like, "Yeah, you got to be kidding me. There's literally no way." And then all of a sudden,
well, they switched Towns on.
no, I was gonna, yeah.
Which is what we called for.
So then
Towns
the
and Nas Reed.
so
Nas
then
Reed.
the Wolves were like, "All right, I mean, we'll put our other 7-footer on him," and then boom. I mean, obviously he's the Joker. He played decent, but it was like
He didn't
that
have,
was
his
that was
second
the
half in that game was
no,
really
but it was the
suspect.
game changer.
Yeah.
Like having Cat on him completely stalled their offense.
Yeah. No.
It was pretty incredible.
I gotta say I didn't expect, like, I wanted the T-Wolves to win, but in the back of my mind I never thought the Joker would be out in the second round.
Yeah,
Well, especially when they were up 20.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
think.
When I
think
was
that.
58-30, I was like, wow.
In the third.
I was like, this game's over.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
done.
blew them out.
Champions don't do that ever.
Yeah.
They don't blow game 7s up by 20 at home. Like
Well,
that's not a thing.
the craziest thing, too, was the second half. I mean, T-Wolves played phenomenal, but outside of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, the rest of the Denver Nuggets,
Nothing.
5 points.
No, it's bad.
A 3-pointer by MPJ and a dunk by Christian Braun were the only other
It's
points.
terrible. Literally terrible.
I
Yeah.
mean, just
Why they lost.
Can Christian Braun shoot?
not really. He's just a slasher.
He's super mid.
He doesn't
Because
want to shoot.
because
I don't think.
I have never seen a guy more times in my life just run around in open court, have the ball in his hand, nobody around him, open jump shot from like the free throw line.
There's a reason.
And he looks at the hoop,
Shout out
and then he
Russell
goes,
Westbrook. Remember?
and then just dishes
Yeah.
it to a guy that's not open.
Yeah, talking about their supporting cast, I mean, people started to question their depth, because they had to play Jokic the
true.
entire game,
Yeah.
every game of the entire series. But I mean, the thing that the Nuggets were praised for, really, outside of just Murray and the Joker was like their role players, how good they were.
MPJ,
Like,
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon and MPJ were huge
It's like
in the
someone
last
could have
finals.
said
And then
losing
just
Bruce
ghosted.
Brown was very big.
Bruce
I
Brown
tried to
was
say
a
it last year.
huge
This
loss.
was-
Oh my God, we ain't talking
No,
about
it's
Bruce Brown.
huge. Dude, look at this game. It's like the Mike Conley thing on the
Some
other side.
respect on Bruce Brown's name.
No, I
I
don't
think
want to
Bruce
talk about
Brown
Bruce
really
Brown.
helps. I'm telling you, that helped that team, and I think that's what they missed. They missed one other guy being able to take the ball and score.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you needed. Someone to get 8 points.
Yeah.
In the
It was
third.
We
good-
did, we
as
did
good
see how
as-
big like Mike Conley was for the
Huge.
Yeah, well, as
Yeah.
good as like Aaron Gordon and MPJ, like MPJ is really just like a 3-point specialist. Which I mean, what's he doing being 6'10"?
No,
Like, what
no,
did you say?
no business.
No business being
Waste
that
of
tall.
height.
But and then Aaron Gordon is kind of, I mean, he's just a skilled big man. But like Bruce Brown was really like that
He
other
could score, yeah.
scoring guard. He could take the ball off the dribble, ISO, make his own shot.
Yeah.
MPJ kind of has to like spot up, shoot.
That's how they got destroyed. 5 points is crazy.
No,
Yeah.
it's
It's
absurd.
it's
And
bad.
just quickly pivoting to the other series in the West. I mean, you were all over the Thunder. You said they were the best team in the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
Someone on the pod said Mavs in 6 after they were down 0-1 in game 1. I don't know who it was. Oh, it was me.
Yeah.
That's what it's one of the things I sniped. This Mavs team's an interesting one because I feel like outside of Luka and Kyrie, I mean, they have a couple decent role players, but
PJ.
yeah, I mean,
PJ played out of his mind.
yeah, he did play
Yeah,
out of his mind all series. But
That
I just
helped
feel
him.
like this team's not nearly as talented, like all around, as maybe besides obviously the top two, as a team like the Thunder or definitely not the Wolves. When you look
Definitely
at
not the Wolves.
Not even
Yeah.
close.
But I mean,
Or the Nuggets.
yeah.
the Thunder, they just didn't seem to have it to me. That's why I was never on them.
I was never convinced.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
I was
you-
pretty
guess-
consistent with that.
I guess
too.
Ryan, you could speak to it because you were pretty, bullish on the Thunder as a team. They just after game 1, they kind of just got dog walked in that series.
Yeah.
I don't think so at all. I mean,
Well, that's 4 out of 5.
they were up. They have very young players, and it showed late in the game. I think that was more than anything. They were in every game. They played very well. They didn't get dog walked, I don't think. But
I
I
was
think
saying in the series. When you lose 4 out of 5 games, I mean, how many were on
And
their
even
home
one
court?
of their wins
2 of those
was
on their home
their
court?
one of their wins was a Mavs choke.
I'm saying like
So, like,
last
really should have been
the last
probably
game
5.
was like I looked at the Nuggets game exactly. I looked at the Thunder game. Both up 20 in control, and then all of a sudden just their best player didn't play as well, and they couldn't score. The rest of the team couldn't score to save their life. Like I thought they were gonna win that game, like fine, up by 10, and they just couldn't score. Shy's only player on the team. When he doesn't score, the rest of the team has nothing. Just like with Joker, and nothing came out of it. I think they're gonna be so good for the future. And it was a great series.
For the future, absolutely. I
Went to
agree.
6
really
games and
good.
they lost. They choked a 20-point lead.
I just was never convinced. I mean, I kept saying it over and over. I was happy that the Mavs won because if they played the T-Wolves or the Nuggets, that team would get swept. Just because, I mean,
The Thunder, yeah.
the Thunder would 100% because, I mean, Chet Holmgren, 7'1", getting 3 rebounds. I mean, who's the big guy on Dallas? Like, imagine him going against Jokic or going against Kat and
Yeah.
Gobert. He's going to get eaten alive. And he's a rookie. So I'm not, like, trying to hate too much on him. They're just a super young team. And really, if every win, Shea has to go for 35+. Like, for them to even be in the game. Like,
Yeah.
if he goes for 25, that team's screwed. And it's not like a knock on the Thunder. They're just too young of a team. And they really never just convinced me. And I was pretty consistent with that on the podcast. Like, I just didn't see it in them. Whereas the Mavs, who don't really have, like you said, the best supporting cast, but it was just kind of like, it reminded me of the older brother who was just a little bit older and like the skilled younger brother. And he's just like beating the younger brother simply because he's bigger and like stronger. Like, they just
Yeah.
were scrappier. The Thunder just kind of like, you saw like at times they're a little hesitant, didn't really know what to do. And then like, they just got outmanned by like PJ Washington.
A young team. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine in the future. And one last thing I want to talk about from last week before we get into the current action. The PGA Championship happened.
Oh,
We gave
I
out
mean, were we sharp or what?
we gave out a bunch of picks.
Almost a
Jesus
bink.
Christ.
Almost a bink. Yeah,
Almost a bink.
Ryan had
That hurt.
the outright winner for Bryson and Victor Hovland. So 2 and 3 finished
Yep, fantastic.
at like
Yes.
plus $1 billion.
Yeah,
Xander
plus
wanted to
$6
give it
trillion.
to you.
No,
Xander wanted
He
to.
wanted to.
But
I mean,
shout
he
out
deserved
Mike
it.
right now, who's not on this episode because he's made it very clear he doesn't give 2 f***s about the NBA.
Yep.
But he said he really liked the name of Xander Schauffele.
Schauffele.
He made that
Schauffele.
known to
Yeah.
the pod. A couple people tailed him getting like top 5, top 10 as well. Xander won the thing. He won the damn thing minus 21.
Mike has called 2 winners.
2 golf winners.
2 golf
Shout out,
winners.
Mike.
Doesn't even.
Wyndham Clark
Guy
and-
can't hit a golf ball to save his life.
No.
No.
Cannot even get it off the tee.
100%. Just watch any golf.
It
vlog
usually
if you
goes
want.
backwards. Like if he's getting positive yards, that's we're moving in the right
stretch.
direction. But you'll definitely see more golf content with Mike involved
100%.
Yes.
because it's great content. I mean, it's some of the best stuff we do here. It's good. It's real good
Truly
work
is.
all the way around.
Truly is.
But I just had to throw that out there. Shout out Mike Xander Shafafovle, winning the PGA
So
Championship. But all right, let's talk the conference finals. The first series I want to talk about is in the Eastern Conference. By far the most exciting series. We already saw game one. The Celtics minus 2,000
Pretty good game.
against the Pacers plus 1,040 to win the series.
What? Most exciting series?
It was a joke.
Oh, I was about to say.
I mean,
It was a
after
joke,
game one, it
Scott.
might be.
Huh?
I said after game one, shit, it might
I
be.
mean, it went to
explain-
overtime.
explain it
Celtics
to you.
minus 2,000. If anyone's a Pacers fan, you can get them right now over 10-1.
I think I'm just laying the 2,000 for
Yeah,
$300.
Yeah.
Well, the Celtics, they went to overtime in game one. The Pacers bench scored 30 points.
Crazy.
And I think there was 3 players. Yeah, it was Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and Halliburton all had 23, 24, and 25.
That's crazy.
So the Pacers played an
Get that
outstanding
production, it's
game.
crazy.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop the Celtics. Jason Tatum, 36. Drew Holiday, 28.
Showed up to play.
And that defense at the end of the game at Halliburton. I don't know if you guys saw it. They were down by I think it was 3. Halliburton was bringing the ball up. He locks him down. Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Halliburton,
forget how good
Halliburton
it is.
dribbles
Well, first
into
team
a
all
corner,
defense.
Drew's really
dribbles
good.
off his foot out of bounds, turn it over. They go down and score.
unreal.
Game's over pretty much.
How
So,
many did Halliburton have?
Halliburton at
25?
25.
You ain't getting
25,
better than that, I'm telling you. That's
25, 10,
the best
and
you're gonna
3.
get. Oh, it's the best you're getting from Halliburton.
Yeah, he's
Now
been
that-
pretty mid this year.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna
He's
get.
been up
dropping.
and
He's
down.
dropping 9 game 2. So
I mean, I
That's
could believe it.
First-
It's kind of what he was doing last
First
series.
half, I think, Tyler, you've talked about this, but he only had like 3 or 4 shots. He was like 2 for 3 in the first
Yeah,
half.
I mean, he shot. This game was kind of crazy. So he, in like a bunch of the games last series, he was only shooting like less than 10 shots. This game, he shot 14 3-pointers.
which is
14
crazy.
Because
3-pointers.
the game against the Knicks, he was so wet, I couldn't even believe my eyes.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, let me carry it over.
Let me just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Celtics, they outlasted this, and the odds kind of show that. So is anyone, we can kind of go around and talk about it. Does anyone think there's any chance for an upset, or is it just what we've been saying every single round of the playoffs, where it's like you bet the Celtics even money to win, you bet them minus 125 to win. Now it's like minus 170 to win the championship. Their odds just keep getting better. They're just going to be in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's literally right here in the betting line. Game 2 is they're -9. They're -10 tonight, and the Pacers could have won that game. And it's kind of like clearly the Celtics will make they'll make a change
A
or
reappearance in the finals.
Exactly.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, they'll come out and they'll play this.
Do you think they sweep them? That's kind of when you're talking about series. I feel like most of us will probably say the Celtics should win.
I
But
think
does
they
anyone
win
think it can get to like a semi-contested series?
I think the Pacers have proved that they can win.
They
at
can win
home.
one
They can
game.
win any
Yeah.
against any team at home, so they could win.
I
at
think it
least
was
one.
5.
So you think Celtics in 5,
5 or 6.
5 or 6, right?
Yeah, that's tough. I want to say a sweep only because this game reminded me so much of, I believe, the 2017 Cavs Warriors championship, where the Warriors were 100% better. It wasn't a doubt. But the Cavs, that game 1 with the choke with J.R. Smith, getting the rebound and not calling
Oh,
timeout.
2018.
Or 2018,
Right?
I think it was the
LeBron
2018
LeBron went for
championship.
54 or whatever. And
You know what I
then-
mean?
Yeah.
But they lost game
one.
1, and then they got absolutely
then they got swept.
But I'm saying it was that game 1 that it was just like that was your only chance to maybe scare the team that's way
Yeah.
better.
Put- yeah.
Now it's gonna be like we got through it. Now we just play our game, and they're not gonna have the best game of their life. Like the
Yeah.
Pacers had a perfect statistical game all the way down the leaderboard. Everyone played perfect.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
So I
there.
think it's going to be just like that carbon copy of that 2018, where it's like that was their game, and now it's going to be the Celtics, just like the breath of fresh air. If we just play our game, we're fine.
Vegas clearly knows too. Like this next game line opening up at 9. It's just the easiest. Vegas like, oh,
I'm interested
they'll
to see-
they'll make adjustments and just kill them. Like
I'm
again,
interested to see game 3.
Also, Pacers
back
bench
in Boston.
won't go for 30
oh, they're not
every
going to
game.
30
Yeah.
is
No,
absurd to get from
That's
a bench.
Yeah.
Like that is hats
Yeah,
off
You
to
can't
their
just
bench.
keep
That
up
was
that
crazy.
production.
Yeah, no, I agree. This series is a sweep, and I'm betting that at plus 250. Celtics,
great
you can
bet.
get right now
I
Celtics
like that.
up 1-0
I like
to win
that.
the
That's
next
not
3
bad.
games, plus 250. You're getting plus 135. You think they're going to go 4-1. So obviously Vegas is leaning towards the Pacers having 1 win. I don't think it happens. This Celtics team, they're just, they're the best team in the East. They've been the best team in the East. They had the best record in the NBA. I'm not a Jason Tatum fan, but again, you look at the stars on these teams in the East. It's kind of laughable. Like we start to talk about the Pascal Siakam. Sure, he's good. The Tyrese Halliburton's, he had a great start to the season, got hurt. But I mean, you're relying on the TJ McConnells to score your points off the bench and stuff like that.
Miles
like,
Turner.
This Pacers team, yeah. I mean, if they're in the West, they get out in the play-in games,
Yeah.
or maybe the first
Lose
round.
to the Kings.
Sneak in the
Sleeping
first
on
round.
the Pacers.
I'm not sleeping on the Pacers. I mean, they played the Knicks, who were banged up, barely beat them.
Yeah.
Game 7 against a Knicks team that had missing 4 players.
Missing 3 or 4
Julius
players.
Randle, OG Anube.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, this Knicks team was hobbled. They took him to 7 games. I don't really even think the Knicks are like fantastic compared to some of those teams we've seen get out in the West already. You're looking at Thunder, you're looking at the Nuggets, like even the Lakers. I think would probably beat the Knicks. You can contest that however you want, or like the Clippers too.
Yeah.
Like all those teams, I think are probably better than them. So yeah, East and the West is a huge disparity. So I just think the Celtics walk over them. Get your juice while you can. Plus 250 Celtics to sweep.
Yeah, I think the Pacers will take at least one game.
Ooh, at least.
Yeah, the way that the Pacers have been playing, if you like look at their field goal percentage, they've been shooting the ball like 50, like 55, like 54% or higher. So like those boys can shoot. I think I looked and they're like the number 1 ranked offense.
Ranked
they
3-point
scored
shooting team as well.
Yeah, so like
Highest
the
efficiency.
boys can shoot. So I could see them sneak in one game, but
Yeah, if they just.
but the Celtics
stay
are
hot.
just. There's no way of beating that team.
In a
So,
7-game series.
Yeah,
I wonder
it's-
what they shot tonight. What do you know
they
what
shot like
shot?
54, 57, like somewhere around there.
It's gonna be tough getting better than that.
Yeah, and the Celtics
The Pacers
still got
tonight shot 53.5% from the field, 37% from 3. So they actually didn't shoot that well from 3. The Celtics shot even worse though, 47.5% for the game, 33%.
Yeah, that's one. That's one. Yeah.
And both teams scored 128 and 130.
Oh, the over was the bet in these games.
So
Pacers
Oh, yeah.
they didn't shoot
If you-
well,
yeah.
and they both went way over. Overtime might have helped, a tad, especially because a 27-point scored in overtime. But yeah, Mario, how do you feel about it?
I mean, if I were gonna bet, I really like the plus 250 on the sweep. I think those are pretty good odds. Yeah, it just I kind of agree with Ryan. Like if the Pacers had stolen this one game, then I would be very confident in them playing 2 games at home for them to win a game at
one,
home.
yeah.
Then through 4 games, it's series tied 2-2. Like
Yeah,
you
you're going
never
back to
know.
Boston, yeah.
You could shake something up, maybe stretch it to 7 games, but because it's like in Boston, you were right there and you kind of blew it, being up 3 with 8 seconds left. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be hard for them to kind of rebound off that. I mean, they're coming off a game 7, emotional game Knicks, emotional loss game 1. I feel like at some point it's going to show. And this Boston team that was sitting for 5 days, maybe that's why their field goal percentage wasn't the best. They kind of didn't really
Getting back into
they
it,
didn't
yeah.
play for a week, I don't know. I would probably lean more on Celtics sweeping.
Yeah, and quickly before we pivot to the West, this kind of reminded me when I was watching it of how they started. I mean, not the end of the game, obviously, but how they started the Eastern Conference Finals last year against Miami,
Yeah.
right? When, they started kind of slow and shaky, and the worst team on paper that was big underdogs is hanging in there. Miami pulls out the game 1. Doesn't go to overtime. They just win it outright. And then Celtics are pretty shocked by that. They go lose game 2 and game 3. And all of a sudden, they almost made the comeback, but still, I could have seen the Pacers doing some surprising stuff if they won the game, but now that it's in the past, we've already seen game 1.
Yeah.
Chalk it up, Celtics in the finals. Next series, this is the one that everyone's super interested in, and I cannot wait. This is the perfect matchup for me. I said it in round 1. If the Lakers
It's
aren't in
the
it, this
best
is what I
matchup.
want.
I love this.
Timberwolves, Mavericks. Timberwolves minus 170, Mavericks 140 to win the series. First game, you're going to be posting this on Wednesday, is tonight. So if you're watching this on Wednesday, right as we post, tune into the game right after you listen to the pod. I'll start on this one because these are kind of the teams I've been riding pretty heavy all postseason.
Yeah.
My favorite player is, I'm pretty outspoken about it, it's Luka.
Yeah.
He's been my favorite player for probably 4 or 5 years now. I've been saying since he's gotten in the league, I was like, I think he's the best player in the NBA. Obviously, the big guys are taking over, but I've just, big guys aside for what they do to the league, I think Luka's the most skilled player. And then this season, Anthony Edwards has just become, especially this playoffs, just the
Crazy.
most unbelievable player to watch.
So good.
He's just so exciting. He's everything you want. He's bringing the old guys, old basketball players back to the NBA to watch these games.
Isn't he number 1 right now in points per game for the playoffs?
That wouldn't
he?
surprise me.
Yeah.
He's like 28, 29.
Yeah.
Per game.
I wonder who, maybe Jalen Brunson.
I was about to
Well,
say,
in
checking
right
that.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Points per
and
game
yeah.
for the
I was
playoffs.
about to
Probably
say
him.
Brunson was
Probably
the
him.
only
Brunson
one,
was,
yeah.
but I think
He was
left.
driving for
Oh,
it.
the last player
100%.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably him.
But yeah, also another side note before I give my series pick here.
It was
What's up?
Donovan Mitchell and then Anthony Edwards.
So
What's Anthony Edwards averaging?
28.6. 28.9.
Nice.
So like 29 points. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's absolutely balling. He's just going crazy, and that's with a pretty lackluster scoring Game 7 of last series
Yeah.
or last game.
Yep.
But yeah, out of the 15 highest played players in the NBA, you know who the only one left is in the playoffs? Anyone want to take a guess?
15 highest paid.
There's out of the 15 highest paid
Gobert.
players. Yes.
makes
Rudy
sense.
Gobert is the 14th highest paid player in the NBA, $40 million a season. Only one left in the playoffs.
40
Makes
million.
sense. The young guys.
You've got-
Don't
got-
pay players.
You've got a lot of other big names
The young guys are
around
insane.
there. You've got the Bradley Beals of the world. You've got the who's the guard on
LeBron,
Toronto? Who's the guard? Fred Van Fleet's up there.
Oh,
40 a
can't
year.
forget about the
I
Van.
You've
love
got,
Freddie.
yeah, you've got a lot of big.
Where's
oh,
Ben at?
Freddie
Ben
away.
Simmons.
You got a lot of those big name
Yeah.
guys. Ben Simmons spent more minutes on the red carpet than he did on the court this year. But
More Met Gala
yeah.
appearances the
Shout
last
out-
3 years than playoff
Shout out Rudy
appearances.
Gobert, highest played player on the Timberwolves, and 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and they're favored minus 170. Here's what you bet this series. You bet whoever the underdog is at any time because it's going to Game 7. You're going to be able to
Damn.
free hedge. I'm telling you right now. So
Just a
right now,
mimic of last
right now,
Nuggets
it's
team.
going to Game 7. Yes, and it's not going to go in a simple. It's not going to go 2-2, 1-1-1 type stuff. Like anything could happen at any one of these games. I don't think home court matters. I mean, Dallas home
Yeah.
court's great, but we saw them, lose games on their home court throughout the entire playoffs so far. Timberwolves, same thing. Look at the Nuggets series, losing games on their home court as well. They were winning on the Nuggets home court, and it was going back and forth until Game 7. These teams are young. People forget how young Luka Doncic is. Everyone's talking about the youth of, the Thunder. Luka's 24 years old.
Yeah.
24, 25.
That's crazy.
So, this team is
really
actually
younger
not,
than us. That's crazy.
Their only, real, young player is, old player on the Mavs is, Kyrie.
Yeah.
That gets, a bunch of minutes on that team. So, I think these teams both have juice. They both have a lot of really talented players, and the guard play is going to be spectacular to watch. So, my pick to win the series today is the Mavericks plus 140. But that is very subject to change, and I'm not going to stand by that. If it goes somehow Timberwolves win the first 2 games, Mavericks win the first 2 games, I'll switch to the Timberwolves and get plus money there. I'm going to bet plus money all throughout the series, and we're just going to make money on both sides.
Yeah, I am so happy to be holding my ticket for the Timberwolves plus 2,200 right now because not only did they barely beat the Nuggets, but I think this is going to be a cakewalk for them.
Ooh.
I think it's going to go 4-1. I think Luka goes crazy or Kyrie goes crazy in a game, but I'm not messing with you. This is why I thought the Nuggets last year were just unbelievably dominant. The height that a team has to absolutely destroy another team, the only team that could compare was the Nuggets.
Yep.
That was literally it. And that was if they have some good players on the team. Dallas has nothing. No, literally nothing. They have a 20-year-old guard in Derek Lively, which they said they're going to give more minutes to because Gafford was playing bad. And then you have Daniel Gafford, who's not top anything in any position at any time.
Hey, don't sleep on PJ Washington.
No, but PJ Washington is good, but like we saw, he had the good game, and then last game he made one shot leading into the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's
He had nothing, and then he had a dunk, and then he made those bullshit free throws. But I'm saying
Great free throws.
no, I'm saying
In every part of the rim.
I have no idea
the way you want it.
unless there is no rebounding, which means Luka goes off or Kyrie goes off. How Nas Reed, McDaniels, Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns don't get everything? How do they not get out rebounded by 20 every game? It just doesn't make. And also 90% of the time, which is crazy, Luka's the leading rebounder.
I was good. I was literally going to say that when you said how do they not out rebound them. I said Dallas is really interesting where they don't
scrappy.
their bigs don't get the rebounds. They kind of compress everyone,
They also
and
push
then
the
the
pace.
guards come in and get the rebounds and push the ball.
But you ain't
immediately.
compressing Gobert.
I don't know.
Cat and Nas Reed. It's never happened.
I agree with you, but also it's the same thing where on the boards, sure, but I think there's a world where they just they can't keep up with the Mavs scoring. We've seen the Timberwolves be pretty slow at points. I mean, they had 38 points going into the third quarter. like with all those big guys. And Denver was having a hard time dealing with those guys. I mean, Jokic was playing every minute. He was exhausted, not even really rebounding at the end of the games.
Oh.
And Aaron Gordon wasn't really doing much at all.
And they've had the number one defense all year, and they do have the number one defense in NBA, and that's what's going to show.
It's the bottom line is Dallas can't hang with this team for 7 games.
Dude, they're going to have to put in their... I mean, I just have no idea how you guard those 3 big men. Jokic, now he's the best player in the NBA. He's going to take up everything. All of their time, all their focus on him. Without a big man. I mean, Luka's going to have to drop 40 a game, which he's hot. He's hurt. I don't know how hurt he is.
This reminds me, and it's not the same thing, and I agree, this team is much better, so it's not a direct comparison, but all those early series, not the recent one where they beat the Clippers, but the ones before, where the Clippers, looked like they had way more stacked teams and were big favorites over the Mavs, and Luka just kind of dominated.
But that has nothing to do with... I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about specific.
No, but I think
size
Luka
and position.
he's shown in the playoffs, he can go get 40 points a game for 4 games of a 7-game series. Like, he not average 40, but he can score 40 in 4 of the 7 games and win a series. And then he's got Kyrie hitting.
The interesting thing about Luka, too, and it's the only reason why I give the Mavs any credit, I think the Timberwolves still win in 6, but I don't think it's the craziest thing for this series to go 7 games, and it's only because, like, the way Luka plays, it's so ball dominant and it's so slow that, like, as long as they're like have like a somewhat efficient offense and score, like they're gonna waste a lot of time just with their offensive possessions. So like even if the Timberwolves are scoring too and like maybe having like pushing the pace on their end of the floor on offense, like the Mavs are gonna slow it down. Kyrie's gonna get ISO. Luka's gonna get ISO. He's gonna dribble the ball out for 20 seconds before they put up a shot. It's just gonna drag the game out, and by the end of the mid fourth quarter, like they're just gonna somehow the Mavs are that team that just always are kind of just there. And once you get to those last 5 minutes of any fourth quarter, regardless of how like the team is, like how the game's gone, everything kind of goes out the window, and it's like a new game kind of starts those last couple of minutes of a basketball game, and it's really just like whoever can show up in those big moments. It really only takes a big shot or two to like kind of win a game.
Yeah.
When you get down like this late in the season in the playoffs. So I don't know. I agree that the Timberwolves are far better. And if they did go out and sweep the Mavericks, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I just think the way Luka plays and the way he controls that offense, there's a world where this does go.
No, that's fair. I was just arguing where like a sure thing number one defense versus we're hoping Mavs offense that stays connected, which hasn't in a long time.
There's definitely a reason they're
while.
Almost 2-1.
It's a clear I think it's a clear mismatch. Like obviously there's worlds and scenarios that the Mavericks could play, but there is a mismatch for sure.
Yeah, and so you're going maybe a sweep Timberwolves in 5. Yeah. You're saying
Luka will get one.
I like
Wolves in 6.
I like Timberwolves in 6. I think Wolves win at home, and then I think Mavericks maybe win one game at home, Timberwolves win, and then after that.
And then I'm going Mavs in 7 as of now, subject to change. Kevin, what are we looking at here?
I have the Timberwolves. Like, I want the Mavs to win, but I think it comes down to literally one player, and it's Kyrie. He's just been so inconsistent. Like, if you look at his stats, like, there's been, 2-3 games where he literally shoots the ball only 7 times because Luka is literally on the ball, so much. So, he's just standing on the side, just, waiting until everyone is, compacting the middle, and then he's just out there just
he's
shooting.
He's going to have the series.
Anthony Edwards.
Thunder, he went 9, 22, 9, 12.
Yeah, that's
22.
what I'm saying. So,
there's no way they beat the Timberwolves with that.
And Anthony Edwards already said in the post-game interview his matchup's Kyrie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So,
I thought they might put him on Luka.
I like longer on Luka. McDaniel's on Luka, but
yeah. It's going to be tough for the Mavs, but I think if the Mavs want to win, Kyrie needs to explode.
Oh, it's going to have to be.
Yeah, I kind of feel that he will.
Guard play like crazy.
Which is why I do think it goes 6 games, because I just have a feeling that Kyrie's going to show up.
It's going to have to be the LeBron Kyrie of
No, for sure.
2016.
No, dropping 50.
2 guys score 40 and you pray the rest of the team doesn't show.
Or just first round Kyrie. I mean, maybe it could just been second round, just couldn't find his rhythm.
It was also interesting, though, because, for Kyrie not scoring in that first round, I know we already talked about that series, he really didn't have to.
Yeah.
They won in 6, right? after losing game one. So he had a bad game one. He had like 9 points or whatever. After that, he didn't really change much. He was alternating between single digits or low 20s. And they won 4 of the next 5, with what they were doing. So I think he understands the game of basketball better than maybe anyone left in the playoffs as far as like a basketball IQ standpoint.
Yeah.
I don't really know any player left on any of these teams that's like a smarter
He's
all
got to have
around.
the most experience.
Like, he's the most
Sure.
experienced. He's won a championship already, and he's definitely the vet on that team. He's teaching Luka how to play guard, like be a leading guard in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, Luka's obviously done it before, where he's won playoff series, but he's never brought a team, to the championship. This is only the 6th time the Mavericks as an organization have been to the conference finals.
Yeah.
So this is kind of new, uncharted territory. I guess not uncharted, but like they're not used to it. They're not used to getting this far.
It is a little bit uncharted because last time they went to the Western
never
Conference
won it.
Finals,
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
fun.
have really a chance to win that series.
True.
Whereas I think they have a better shot this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have
For
like
sure.
a legitimate shot to actually win this.
Yeah, and so I agree. I think Kyrie has to play a bigger role, but I don't think he'll have a problem doing it. That was my point. Is I think he didn't have to score or shoot
Yeah.
last series. This series, I think he'll know he has to.
Yes,
and I don't
for
think
sure.
the
He has
team
to
will
be
have
more
a problem
aggressive.
doing that, and I think he can get hit.
I agree. Because he waited, like if you look at like the last couple games, like he really wouldn't start scoring until late third quarter and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like is when he would just score like all his points. Like he would just kind of sit back and let Luka
Get
do
tired
his
out.
thing, and fourth quarter like kind of relieve him.
Yeah. No, for sure. Tate, are you going Timberwolves here? Am I by myself on the Mavs?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Timberwolves, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all Timberwolves except Tyler.
Yep.
He's got Mavs.
I got
Timberwolves?
Mavs in 7 too. So.
In 6.
Oh, okay.
All right,
fair.
and then for the updated championship odds, since we already covered the series, we've done this every week. Here are your updated odds: Celtics -165, Timberwolves +280, Mavericks +500, Pacers +3,800. We've already given out all these picks at way better odds, right? So it's like it's not pretty to say, oh, Celtics -165 when you had them at even money or +100, whatever.
Yeah.
A couple rounds ago, when we
I
giving
think
them out.
it's gorgeous.
You don't want to say Timberwolves +280 when you got a ticket at +2,200. But if you're looking at these today and you're like, hey, I want to place a bet on the championship today, given these odds, who are you going with? Tate, I'm starting with you.
I think kind of given the scenario and the way I think of the series and the team, I think it's got to be the Timberwolves +280. I mean, for the fact that in my mind, I think they're in the NBA championship 90% of the time. I think the Mavericks win the series 10% of the time. I'm really confident in that team. I think they're just better in a lot of facets. So I kind of see it going that way. I think the value at almost 3-1 of having a team just in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to be some walk through. I don't think. I think they do win it in 6, but to have them in the NBA Finals, I think they match up really well against Boston as well. So I think they're gonna
Especially
give
on
them a
that big
fight.
guy
And then
front.
if they're there, then you've got almost +300 again. Just like straight up against the Celtics, which I like.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you at +135. I'm gonna give it to you at -135. I'm gonna give it to you at -165. Celtics is the best pick here. They're in the NBA Finals. They have a game 1 again at home in their home court. I just think they're a complete team. You could say they're not good or they're choking or whatever they're gonna do. They're an amazing team that's gonna face a very either hurt Mavericks team and they somehow pull it out. No matter what, they're like Luka's not playing like probably playing at
100%,
60%.
yeah.
Like you could tell, and the rest of their team is hobbled too. Or the Anthony Edwards team that's also like hasn't been there, and I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, he could come up clutch. Just getting -165 for game 1 at home in the NBA Finals is again an unbelievable, gorgeous bet.
Yeah, and I want to go with what Tate said here. This isn't my pick, but I like if you think the Timberwolves are almost 100% going to win, the +280 is awesome because the Celtics to win the series are -2,000, right? So they're already priced into that being in that series, and they're saying they're at 165. So that's probably somewhat close, almost maybe exactly what they're going to be favored at in the NBA Finals. Like maybe it goes up a little bit, but depending on the matchup,
It'll go up.
well, I'm saying if the Timberwolves get in and the Celtics get in, I bet you they're not too far off -165.
I'll be like
Because-
-200.
Because I'm saying, why wouldn't they already just be -200? Because they're -2,000 to win this series.
Yeah.
So it's already literally priced in for them to be in the finals.
Well, to win it, it's harder to win. I mean, they must think that Western Conference is just. I mean, they haven't won.
No,
for
that's
a
what I
reason.
mean. For the championship odds, like if it was, this has got to be getting pretty close to what they're going to actually be at tip
Oh,
off.
really?
because
Because the minus 135 before the other series.
I mean-
and I was just like, take that and take the minus 165.
yeah, I mean maybe it'll
take
jump,
it again.
maybe it'll jump a little bit, but I'm saying I don't think you'll get the
It's around the
Timberwolves
same number.
at plus 300, plus 280 when the series kicks off.
Well, definitely not.
It'll
I
be
think so.
plus 180, plus 185.
I think it'll be more.
no way.
Then what?
I think it'll be like minus 230.
And plus 200 for the Timberwolves or something.
That'll
Plus-
be like minus 180 or something.
No, I think it'll be,
I mean,
no,
plus
I
two-
don't think it'll be
plus
it'll probably be minus 250 and plus like 230, somewhere around that.
That's bigger than I think, but I agree with Tate's logic. I think you take the winner, who you think is going to win the Western Conference Series. I think is the best bet for the odds. So I'm going Mavs at plus 500. I said I liked him at plus 1500. I like him at plus 500 too.
I'm gonna pick this team and hopefully jinx this team because I hate them.
Yes.
Last week I chose the Nuggets, so that didn't go well.
You jinxed
so
them.
I jinxed them.
Nice.
So
Good shot.
hopefully
Jinx again.
Celtics.
Kevin Jinx.
So there you go, Celtics.
Kevin Jinx.
But
It's a wrap.
Yeah, but I do think Celtics have the best
Pacers in
odds. Yeah.
that would be
You can
legendary.
get that at plus.
Can we just,
100,000.
Kevin? Can you just sprinkle your Kevin Juju all over the Celtics and just make them crumble?
Dude, I wonder what the odds are
Qingtao.
for Pacers in 5.
plus 800? It's not even a bet.
That's
I don't
not
think
I can tell you right now.
Go
Bring
ahead.
it up.
There's no way.
Pull it up.
Pacers 4-1. Everyone place your bets. Oh, you already saw the bet.
I
Don't
didn't see it.
All right, all right.
4-1.
Take a guess. Pacers to win 4-1.
Plus 500,000.
No,
10,001.
no,
30,000
no. It's plus
27.
6,500.
Wait, what was
Terrible
it?
bet.
What was it?
Oh, yeah, that is a
Plus
lame
6,500. It's
Oh,
Pacers
that's
to
not
win
enough
5.
juice. It's got to be at
not
least 10.
There's only 1 out of 6,500 times Jason Tatum tears his ACL.
No. That's not 6. It's plus 600, 6,500. So it's only 65 to 1.
Well, I think you said it was 6,500 to 1.
No, plus 6,500.
Oh my, that's a stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not nearly enough juice as it should be.
Their championship odds should be 65 to 1.
Their championship odds, like I said,
Isn't it like 3,000?
38
yeah,
or
38 to
Yeah,
1.
no,
Wait, what?
Hey, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
That's them to win in 5.
Just a nice little sprinkle though.
But yeah, all right. So you got the Celtics with the
Yeah.
intention to jinx.
Jinx.
Good.
Qingtao.
The Celtics. Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Celtics bet, but I would probably go Timberwolves plus 280. I
You've
think
been saying that for a minute now.
yeah, and I do think like I agree with Tyler that I think when it comes down to if it is Timberwolves Celtics, I think Celtics are around 185, 195. So plus 280 for the Timberwolves, I think is a better line than
Yeah.
what you're getting for the Celtics in the championship. But I mean, I would say one of those two teams is probably the only logical bet, personally.
Yeah, I mean we're inching down on it. Only 4 remaining. 3 if you count, 3 actual contenders and the Pacers just hanging out. Shout out Indiana. But yeah, there you have it. I mean, it's gonna be an exciting series to
Gonna be
watch.
juicy.
It's gonna be this series in particular. Obviously, is gonna be the one everyone's focusing on. We get to watch excellent guard play
Yeah,
from 2 of the best young players we've seen in a long time in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be super exciting. This is definitely what the future of the
So fun.
NBA is
Nobody
gonna
has a
look like.
ring. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
it's
guards, no rings.
gonna be
yeah, it's
really
pretty awesome. But yeah, there you have it. This weekend, side note, I just want to point out, Dejan Hours will be in Vegas
Good night.
celebrating
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Kevin's birthday. He's turning 34.
We're really
He's,
celebrating Memorial Day, but
Yeah, we're celebrating Kevin's birthday. Shout out our new friend named Lucky coming with us to gamble.
Lucky.
Never gamble.
Friend of the
Lucky.
pod.
Friend of the pod. Looking forward to getting Lucky to roll some dice.
Surprise.
I'm gonna get like
Yeah, we're gonna have a vlog coming from Vegas, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It's gonna be electric, and then we're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers.
We're
in-
almost there,
We're
bro.
inching our way
We're almost
closer
there.
every week this off season, heading into next football season, which we are so pumped on. We're gonna do something pretty big for 1,000 subscribers. So
Oh, we will.
make sure you are subscribed, and on top of that, Tate, if they're not already subscribed or they're not liking the video, you gotta tell them what to do.
Yeah, tell them what to do, T.
What are you gonna do?
Give them the
Let
instructions.
them know.
We're on the road to 1,000, boys.
Almost
Why don't you
there.
just help us out? Click that subscribe button below. Give us a little thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. We love that. We're going to Vegas. Obviously, there's content coming your
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Share
Oh,
the
yeah.
channel with a friend. It's going to be awesome. Turn that notification bell on so you don't miss a beat of DGen Hours.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week.
Go
Enjoy
Wolves,
the
baby.
games.
Dudes.